Scott here, and this is Mastering the Mind, Body, and Soul. For your returning viewers, thank you for coming back and watching another video. And for all my new viewers, welcome. Hopefully, you're going to see or hear something that resonates with you. And if it does, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. To give you an update on all the platforms that I'm currently on, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, and TikTok. So last week we did our first example of R.E.T, where we went through the event, the self-talk, feelings, challenge, and the new feelings. And for a quick overview, the three goals of R.E.T are to be less upset, less often, for less long. Uh, R.E.T is not a magical silver bullet. There's going to be times where you still lose your cool, you get upset, and you say and do some things that, you might regret later. But overall, it gives you a strategy that you can use to help defray some of those excessive feelings and emotions that you have inside, especially if you're dealing with anger management issues. And anger management issues were a real problem for me and can still be in certain circumstances. Today's example, I want just to preface this before I begin. I'm not throwing any type of shade on the law enforcement community, but this is something that you know some people might experience. I myself have been part of the law enforcement community in one way, shape, or form for the last 41 years, and I still work part-time in that capacity. So if I have any law enforcement out there, please don't take this personally. It's just an example. Okay, we have the event. Remember, the event must be specific. It's I was stopped for speeding and received a speeding ticket. That happens occasionally. And then we have the self-talk. This is what we're telling ourselves during that stop. First one is Barney Fife is trying to be a super cop. For some of my younger viewers, you may not know who Barney Fife is, but back in the day, there was a show on television. It was the Andy Griffith Show, and Andy played Sheriff Taylor. He had this inept deputy, Barney Fife, whose actor was Don Knotts, and he could get into some of the most craziest situations. Sheriff Taylor would only give him one bullet and wouldn't allow him to put the bullet in the gun until he needed it. So Barney Fife is trying to be a super cop. And then the next is must be behind in his quota. We've all heard that as well. He needs to be out solving real crimes. And this road is nothing but a speed trap. I can't stand this town or these cops. Popo is always messing with people. Now, that self-talk is going to create anger, frustration, apprehensive, fearful, and worried. So that self-talk, creating those feelings, and if we're feeling this way, then we are coming out of our child where we're basing everything on a feeling and emotion. And we base things on feeling and emotion, we don't always make the best decisions. So how are we going to get from our child back to our adult? We're going to use the 5 rational questions and the importance question. If you remember last week, we went over those. And the first one is my thinking or behavior based on facts? Barney Fife is trying to be a super cop. Is that a fact or an opinion? It's an opinion. How do you know that he's trying to be a super cop? And his name's not Barney Fife. So that is an opinion. He needs must be behind in his quota. Is that based on a fact or opinion? That's an opinion as well, because we don't know if law enforcement has a certain quota they have to meet each and every month. Some of us may believe that, but that's not a fact. He needs to be out solving real crimes. Is that a fact or opinion? That's an opinion because he is a law enforcement officer, and part of his duties is traffic enforcement. So not only is he out solving real crimes, but he's also out there doing traffic enforcement to keep our roads safe. This road is nothing but a speed trap. All right, is that based on fact or opinion? That's an opinion as well, because along the roadways they have signs that tell you how fast you can drive on that particular road. So if you choose to ignore that, then that's on you. I can't stand this town or these cops. Is that based on fact or opinion? It's an opinion. You are standing this town and you are standing these cops as long as you continue to live there. So that's based on an opinion as well. And then finally, we have Popo always messing with people. Is that based on a fact or opinion? Well, that's an opinion because law enforcement officers are too busy going around stopping people unnecessarily and messing with them because they have guidelines they have to follow as well. So, is that self talk based on a fact or opinion? It is based on opinion. So, we would have to put no. And two, does my thinking or behavior help me to protect my life, health, or my freedom? Now, if we're thinking this way and we are feeling this way, then if we come out slick out of the mouth to the police officer, that situation can escalate to the point where you could be charged with more than a speeding ticket. So, by being angry, frustrated, that's not going to help you uh, protect your life, health, or your freedom. Because if you get stupid, you're going to go to jail. And three, does my thinking or behavior help me achieve my goals now and in the future? Well, our goals is to get away from that officer with as little penalty as possible. So we have to keep our self-talk in check. We have to, uh, monitor how we're feeling at that time. So this self-talk is negative. So 2 was negative or no, 3 is no. And then 4, does my thinking or behavior help me to avoid unwanted conflicts with others? Now, this self-talk is not going to help you to avoid conflicts, and especially with the law enforcement officer. Far too many people just say and do things they think they can get away with, and they find out that they're wrong. And my goal in any situation where my self-talk is negative, I want to avoid an unwanted conflict. So that does not do it. So we have a no there as well. And then the fifth one is, does my thinking or behavior help me feel the way I want to now and in the future? Once again, nobody wants to go around feeling angry, frustrated, apprehensive, fearful, or worried. And this self-talk just isn't getting it done. So that's going to be a no as well. And then we go to the importance question. Will this situation be important to me tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years from now? Well, if you get a warning or if you get a ticket, will this situation be important to you tomorrow? No, because it's already done and over with. Next week, no. As long as you're abiding by the speed limit, there's not an issue. Next month, same thing. 5 years from now, you may not even remember getting a speeding ticket. So we have to get from the child, which we're acting on feeling emotions, back up into the adult because of the negative self-talk. So we got to come up with some new feelings. And once we move from the child to the adult, we're using our rational thinking and our intellect. So in the new feelings, a person could be saying, I was wrong. He's only doing his job. Not only does he solve crimes, but he does traffic enforcement as well. And then I need to pay more attention to my speed. And I'll be a smart man from this. And if some of you remember from the previous lessons, there's a wise man, smart man, and the fool. Wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Smart man learns from his own. But a fool never learns. He continues to moan and groan. So by using this phrases, the new feelings, then we can get back into our adult, use that rational thinking, and avoid any possible confrontations or negative outcomes. Today, as always, got another acronym for you. Last week, we used the acronym DREAM, and I asked you to start dreaming, but dream big. And this week, I want you to be brave, okay? You got to have the courage to step up and do what you need to do. And brave is be ready and victory's easy. It's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Sometimes these opportunities are few and far between, and you have to be ready and make the most of it when it does come. Now, to help you along the way, you need to look sharp. You need to act sharp. And when you do both of those, you can be sharp. And I want to finish up this week uh, with the winner and losers that we started last week. And a winner says, good, but it's not as good as I'm able to be. A loser says, I'm not as bad as a lot of other people I know. Shifting focus. A winner works harder than a loser and has more time. A loser is always too busy to do what is necessary. Keeps procrastinating and putting things off. A winner tries to learn from those who are superior to him. A loser tries to tear down those who are superior to him. All right, you got to make someone look less than. And then a winner says, there ought to be a better way to do it. And a loser says, that's the way it's always been done here. Not looking for any new ideas or way of doing things or doing things better. And a winner makes commitments. A loser makes promises. It seems like people in this day and age are far less committed to people, places, or things. It's just a flash in the pan. What's good today may not be good tomorrow. And then when everything is said and done, and they look back on it, and there's an old saying, hindsight is 2020. I'm a good example of that. Why can I see so clearly after the fact when I could not see it at that point in time? So, in closing today, um, as I always will say to you, I believe in you, and I want you to believe in yourself, and I want you to do an act of kindness. Never forget that. You never know what that person's going through, and just a simple gesture can mean all the world to that individual. Teamwork makes the dream work. Believe it to achieve it. And all this pulling together in one direction can make all the difference in the world that we live in. But when we're all going in a different direction and we're not unified, it's just utter chaos. And what I would like to see through this channel is that we can help others, we can bring unity back, and we can make this world a little bit better place. So, with that, I would like to say, may God bless you and much love and light.